Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Steele Carreras YouTube channel. I've got a great race for you today. Based on the title of this video, this is my first ever win in the Formula Race Promotions F1600 Championship Series. Usually I wouldn't give that out as a spoiler, but this is a very special occasion, and I wanted to show you all how I got it done. This is during the penultimate round of the 2024 season at New Jersey Motorsports Park. This is the second race of the weekend in very late July. I am starting on the outside of row 1 in second place. Matteo, my teammate, is on the inside in pole position, and Karsten DeFonts is starting third right behind Matteo, and he is another person that's going to be a big factor in this race. So here we are, just waiting for the flagman to wave the green flag here. And there we go, green flag is out and the race is underway. I get a really good start on the outside, and I get ahead by about 2 car lengths from Matteo, so I'm just going to use all the track going into turn 1 and sort of shut the door on the rest of the field, and now I'm firmly in the lead. So now that I'm in the lead here, I'm going to walk through the track itself. It's pretty technical with a very long front straightaway, which makes for some really great passing opportunities. So right now I'm exiting the chicane. Usually that's not part of the track, but this weekend it is. Now we're going into turn 4, very light right-hander kink, barely have to brake, and that's a heavy braking downshift point into turn 5. That's probably my favorite section of the racetrack. I seem to be doing a lot better than some of the other guys throughout the weekend. This is turn 6, very light braking point. You can early apex it using all the curb on the exit, then down into turn 7. A little bit squirrely on the entry, but also can use some of that curbing on the exit. And now this is, I believe it's turn 7 or 8. It's a very, very long, and you have to be very patient in these last 2 corners. This track rewards patience because you can diamond that last corner and get a great run down the front straightaway. And as I mentioned, it produces some really great racing coming down here into turn 1. Usually I'd go to the inside to sort of defend, but I have a good car length, I would say a good 3 or 4 car lengths to the car behind. But braking at the 3 board here, early apex into turn 1. It's very bumpy here, but they did some repaving in this part of the racetrack. So I will say it's a little bit better than I think it looked like last year. And yeah, it's so far it's a very fun, and it's probably the most physical racetrack out of our whole 2024 schedule. At this point, I'm just trying to perfect my lines as much as possible and trying to pull away from the rest of the pack, because at this track, it can get really dicey on the front straightaway, and perfecting my lines can sort of pull away from the rest of the field so that doesn't happen. But the draft with these cars, as maybe you've seen in other videos on my channel, it's just so strong, and it's what keeps these races competitive. So here we are, skip ahead to lap 4. I'm still in the lead, but at this point, Karsten DeFonts is right on my tail, and I'm starting to mess up a little bit just because I'm trying to push as much as I can out of the car, and the tires are getting very hot. And going into this corner, made a pretty big mistake getting onto the curb a lot, and that just allows Karsten to sort of shoot right on by me. Kind of in a very tight section of the racetrack, but honestly, I would probably do the same thing if I were Karsten, if I saw the leader kind of mess up going into the last couple corners. It's just an easy way to get the position. So anyway, I'm actually okay with second place here. I'm going to use his draft as much as possible. He's going to go to the inside to defend, and I'm not going to shoot to the outside. I kind of wanted to just stick behind him and wanted to try and work together to pull away from the rest of the field, but at the same time, it was kind of weird how whoever was in front at all times was kind of slowing down the front part of the field. So guys like Matteo Naranjo and then Cooper Shipman were able to kind of still keep with us, just because for some reason it felt like the front car was holding up the rest of the pack. Even though we're all about the same speed, it's just the strength of the draft that makes it seem like the front car is going very slow. So anyway, looks like he had a misshift there, really lost a ton of momentum, and I'm able to just get right back onto his tail almost immediately. Down to the line, he's going to go the inside. I thought, well, he made a mistake, I'm going to go the outside, but then Matteo gets just one heck of a run and swings it around the outside and takes the lead almost effortlessly. That was pretty impressive by him. So he's going to be the lead car now. I'm in third. I believe Cooper is a little bit behind in fourth, but it's just a 4-car train at the moment. So now that Karsten is in front of me along with Matteo, these guys are going to be trying to look to battle each other. Karsten seemed to be pretty aggressive in some of these passing opportunities that he had in mind, which no harm, no foul. It's just, it kind of clogs up the rest of the field, and it allows for guys maybe behind me to catch up and also try to fight for the lead. So it's just something you don't really want to do. For me, I like passing on the front straightaway because you can sort of just sweep by them without killing a ton of momentum and making yourself more vulnerable. Very, very close. Looks like Matteo was trying to pinch him down to the grass a little bit there on the inside, but Karsten gets the job done and takes the lead away from Matteo. So at this point, I'm in third, and I'm thinking maybe I can work with Matteo here to try to get around Karsten, and best case scenario, sort of get as close to him as I can and just sort of freight train Karsten. But I'm a little bit too behind to do that this lap. Very close to making contact on the inside there, but Matteo has that inside line, always an advantage going into turn one. Matteo gets the inside and gets the job done and takes the lead away from Karsten DeFonts. You're going to see me do this a lot throughout the video. I cut away from the back half of the racetrack just because nothing really goes on action-wise, and the action is almost exclusively on the front straightaway. So these guys are just going to be falling behind each other for the rest of the lap, essentially, coming into lap 10 now. 3-car train. It's going to come by here past the bridge. This little kink here is where the action really starts to set off. Matteo looks like he's kind of half defending. I have just one heck of a run. I was thinking about going to the inside there and making it 3 wide, but I didn't want to make it more stressful than it had to be, and Karsten takes the place away. I feel like Matteo, he saw me flying up behind him in his rearview mirrors. I think he moved to the left a little bit and kind of let Karsten go by for first place. So I think that was kind of my fault a little bit, but it is what it is. End of lap 10, going into lap 11. I'm in third place, got a little bit, I would say 3 car lengths behind Matteo. Matteo gets a run on the inside. He gets the position into first place almost effortlessly. I'm going up the inside trying to make something happen here, and I get second position. So this is probably the best scenario I've had. Just stick behind Matteo, my teammate, and try to pull away from the rest of the field. But we quickly figured out that that wasn't the case. Karsten's a quick driver. He's got a quick car. He's going to stick within the top 3 for sure for the rest of this race. So I kind of like being in second place here. It's kind of like cycling. If you're the front car and you are trying to hit every mark you can, brake as late as possible in efforts to try to pull away from the rest of the field, it's just not going to work because of how strong this draft is. And you cook your tires a lot more quickly than maybe me or Karsten, who's in third place, because in my situation I can just sort of ease off, not push as hard, and as you can see my steering is pretty smooth, and it allows for my tires to be more controlled at a more controlled temperature, not being too cooked or too cold for it to be uncontrollable when I try making a pass. So it allows for me to sort of conserve my tires until the last couple laps, where it truly matters when it comes to finishing positions. I get a great run here, moving to the inside, passing Matteo pretty easily, but Karsten wants to make a double overtake going into turn 1. He takes that lead right away. Just a heck of a run by him, and he gets first position at the beginning of lap 12. That was completely unexpected by him. I was not expecting him to sort of get that crazy of a run going into first place, but third place, whenever you're in third place in those scenarios, you can just get such a run and just shoot on right into first place. So I'm going to go to the inside here. I get really pinched down to the grass, and I just lost all my momentum, and that allows for Matteo to send it around the outside and take that first place away from both of us. So I don't really think there was anything wrong with whatever Karsten did, but I just think he wasn't really looking in his mirrors and just saw me at the last minute, and I was just trying to move down, and both right tires were in the grass, and obviously that's not going to help me. So is what it is. Final few laps here. I'm in third place. I'm kind of letting up a little bit now that I'm kind of close to Karsten, which is not very normal at this part of the racetrack. I just want to see what happens. So I try going to the outside, but it's going to be a 3 wide situation, or almost 3 wide position going into turn 1. Karsten just hangs it and sends it around the outside and gets that first place taken away from Matteo. If I really wanted to, I feel like I could have braked a lot deeper going into turn 1 and tried to make it more interesting and try to take second place away, but being the last car to make it 3 wide, kind of an unwritten rule to sort of just back out and let the front 2 battle it out. So that's what I decided to do, and I'm glad it didn't really end up me being in the grass or possibly in the wall. So final couple laps here, end of lap 14 going on to lap 15. Matteo thinks about diving to the inside almost immediately. I have a pretty big run, but I'm going to just kind of stick behind and try to help Matteo as much as I can to try to get that first place away. He moves down to defend, takes the first place position beginning of lap 15. So now I'm going to try to go to the drawing board here and think about what I can do to try to overtake 2 cars here within the last couple laps. Not a very easy thing to do, especially in this part of the racetrack, so it's going to have to be something on the front straightaway when all the draft is available to use. So coming down to the last lap here, Karsten gets somewhat of a run, tries to maybe go to the inside, but decides to go to the outside. I get one heck of a run, and I decide to go to the inside of Matteo, late braking going into turn 1, and I get second place back. Now I've got this, I would say, 3 car gap, 2.5 car gap to first place. Karsten is going to try to pull away as much as he can here. Kick of the dirt there going into the chicane, just trying to use all the track as he can to pull away from second place. So now I'm thinking about maybe if I can catch him before the last straightaway, I could be able to get him into the last final 2 very slow, either the right-hander or the left-hander, and just kind of take the racing line all the way to the checkered flag. But it is kind of risky because he could use the draft to get right back around me, but right now I just have too much of a gap to really make anything happen. So I'm just going to hit my marks as much as I can. Very late braking going into the last corner, the last right-hander, very squirrely in the front, as you can see from the steering wheel. I'm going to diamond this corner. He's going to slow up a lot just to try to get a great exit out of the last corner, which he does, but I have all the draft at my expense. He moves to the right side to try to defend. Now going into the last little right-hand kink, all the draft in the world, coming to the checkered flag on the left side, and I win by a nose, and I didn't even notice it yet. As you can see, my reaction, I haven't said anything or even celebrated until I finally got the radio message knowing that I won the race. First ever race win in the Formula Race Promotions F1600 Championship Series. 3 years of work, and I finally managed to get it done. As you can see from the replay, incredibly close finish, only a .046 second gap between me and Karsten DeFons, who finished in second place. Very happy for the team and my dad, who was here this weekend. Here's a photo of the finish. Absolutely crazy stuff. I'm always excited when I get to experience finishes like these in the series, and photo finishes really do happen a lot in this kind of racing. If you do like this kind of content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Steele Carreras YouTube channel, and I hope to see you next time.